So good morning. Welcome back or welcome to Yoga with Ciara. This is day 1 of Spiral. What are spirals? This is the question I've been having in my body, in myself, since I decided on doing the spiral. Yeah, I'm feeling gestures that hold us, how we reach for things, how we balance ourselves. We're always, if a door warps, one side kicks out and the other side kicks back. So we're always warping to counterbalance our weight. So I'm really going to look at the warp of us. Maybe I should have called this warp. It's really lovely to be back. It's really beautiful to be back in my practice here with you. And my body really loves this space. I really connect deeply to this community, this space we've created, this place of discovery and adventure. The question the next 14 days is, what is the spiral in us? How do spirals hold us? What is the warp of us? So come lie on your back. No, come stand actually. Come stand. And we're going to start in standing today and just look at the gestures in our arms, do a sun salutation type thing, and then come onto the floor. Okay. The last month we were doing the wave where we started on the floor and went up. We may end up doing that, but at the moment we're going to start in standing today. Tomorrow is Sunday Yum. So today we're going to start in standing. So come. So great. So starting on your mat, your feet are a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And just stand. Just come into this sense of this moment in your body. Actually, bring your feet a tiny bit closer. And so you're going to look at the warp of you. So for me, one of my shoulders is a little bit more forward, and one of my hips is a little bit more forward than the other one. And this is just me. I'm not going to change me, but being aware of how I am is an amazing place to start. So maybe you can do it with your eyes open. I love closing my eyes to hear the warp of me. One hip further, one thigh further forward, one hip up towards your shoulder, one shoulder more down, one shoulder more forward. And it's just a snapshot. It's like we'll be checking in with this over the next 14 days, just checking in, and just roll your shoulders. And as you roll your shoulders, include the information that you just learned, that one shoulder is a little bit more forward and one shoulder is a little bit more back. And can you feel that in this movement? And our patterns, our compensations, they're really important. Roll your shoulders in the other direction. It's not about breaking them down and being without them. It's learning how to feel them and be well enough not to have them as strong in our body, having resources. Nice. Bring your hands to your hips and just roll. And as you roll, include that information. One hip was more forward, one hip was more back. And can you feel that in how you're moving right now? Does one hip move backwards easier? Does one hip move forwards easier? And then roll in the other direction. Just allow that they are different. One of your legs pushes the clutch, the other one is the brake and accelerator. One stands out of the car always, the other one sits into the car. And just lean from side to side. One leg you always stand on, the other one not so much. Nice. So just pause again and feel, can you notice the shape of you? One shoulder more forward, one hip more forward, one shoulder more up, one hip more down. It's interesting. I can feel that there are differences, but I can't quite articulate them yet this morning. So we're going to just see over the next 14 days if that changes. So begin by bringing both hands forward in front of you and just turn your palms upwards. Spiral your palms upwards. And then spiral your hands down and then turn so that they're back to front. So just roll palms up as far as they go, and then palms down and back to front as far as they go. And even though we're just moving our hands, your shoulders will be doing something. Just feel that. As you roll your hands back to front, as you roll your palms face up, your shoulder blades are moving, your shoulders are moving up towards your ears, your shoulder blades are moving away from your ears. So bring them out. Palms go up Palms go back to front. And now my spine is also moving. So now I'm arching and rounding my back. But even though that's not what I said, just turn your palms up and then turn your palms down. We are connected. Nice. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling. Turn your palms towards each other and turn your palms away from each other. So already you're listening for a shoulder that you have to mind, clicks and clunks. So go slower. Go slower in the movement. Maybe keep one arm down. Just see, how do you move your hands in spiral one way and then spiral the other way? Nice. Drop your arms down. Just let them hang. Nice. So hold on to a wall if you wish, or your stick. Oh, my stick is gone. My stick is gone. Anyways, I'll go find my stick. So hold on to a wall and then just turn your toes outwards and then turn your toes inwards. And so I'm really spiraling my whole leg outwards and then my whole leg inwards. And notice how, as you do that, for me, my hip hikes up as I turn my toes inwards. And my hip drops down when I turn my toes outwards. So holding onto the wall or your stick and just spiral as far as you can, 1 foot in and 1 foot out. But I'm just moving my whole leg as a chunk actually. It's just the chunk of my leg rolls out and then rolls in. And as I do this, I can really feel that there's a part of this range that feels a little bit tighter. So the rolling inwards, I'm really feeling the back of my buttock going, how interesting. Nice. Other leg. Spiral your leg outwards, spiral your leg inwards. And I'm trying to turn my toes as far out as I can, and I'm turning my toes as far in as I can. And my leg is moving as a unit. And again, I get taller and my hip hikes, and I get lower and my hip drops. It's quite interesting. I am taller when my toes roll in, and I'm shorter as my toes roll out. How fascinating. Nice. Turn both toes in. Nice. Feel how that is in your body. Turn both hands in. Like try and stand up straight like this. It's really hard. I feel like I'm pushing against gravity. Turn your toes to straight, your hands to straight. And then turn your toes outwards and turn your palms outwards. It's so interesting. So roll from all the way in, hands spiraled in, feet spiraled in, and then feet spiraled out, hands spiraled out. Just do it a few times. In, and then exaggerate it in your spine, exaggerate it in your chest. You know, what gestures would make you go deeper in? And what gestures would make you go deeper up? One more time. In and out. Super, great. I just shake that out. Shake out one leg, shake out the other leg. Nice. So at different stages, using those spirals will support us in the gestures we're going to do this month. So I'm going to go spiral your arm, spiral your leg, spiral your spine. Okay, so come to the front of your mat. Nice. Reach your arms wide and then reach up towards the ceiling and bring your palms to touch in the beginning. And then, can you see my hands? And then turn your palms so your thumbs are pointing forward. This one here where your hands are back to front and your palms are together. I'm not sure if I'm there in. So then my arms are spiraled. And then lean over to one side. My hands are interlocked back to front. And then the other side. Nice. Look up, change the spiral of your hands. So it's the other way around that you've just turned your hands. And then sideways. And sideways. Change the spiral of your hands and become aware. For me, that's my left hand forward. And try and feel that. So don't look up at your hand and go, oh, that's my left hand forward. And then just look straight forward and see if you can feel that spiral in your hands and make it really clearly map it in your body. Maybe do it if you like, come into it a few times. Oh, yes. The left one is forward. So drop the left one down in front of your face and then just bring it back up again and just feel left hand is forward. And then do the other cross. Right hand is forward. And just feel that in your body. So because of my dyslexia left and right, this is really confusing for me. I'm like, that's what hand and where is it? So maybe this is really easy for you. This is really hard for me. So reach your arms wide and come all the way down. Hands to the floor, forehead to your knees. And just pause there and have a bit of a wiggle. You know, some of you, maybe you've been doing the yoga the last few days by yourself, going back into the archive, or just moving in the ways that you've learned over the years. Or maybe you haven't done yoga in 4 days, and maybe you feel that. Just notice. Wiggling your bum, bending your knees, creating space in this compression. Nice. Step your right foot back and bring your right knee to the floor. Bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot. So my two hands are in the space in front of me, and just create some space here. How do you feel your spine? How do you move, connect? How do you ease into your hips, lengthen into your thighs, roll onto the baby toe side of that left foot, drop your knee out. There's so many movements that you can create here. You're going to let your head travel as far to the right and then as far to the left. Nice. Both knees back, both hands underneath your shoulders, round your back, sit your bum back, and then glide forward as you arch. So spinal rolling, round your back, sit your bum back, arching your back, drawing forward. And just continue. Really feel like I love that idea of being really satisfied by a movement. Like, how would I let this really meet me right now? How would I lean into this and be present in this movement so that it can actually change me because I've turned up? Leaning in and then change direction. How do you turn up in this moment into your body? How do you make this smoother? How do you make it more connected? How do you help your body learn this movement? So being present is the way we do that. Nice. Push back into your downward dog. And just pause, stretching into your calves, having a sense of length through your legs. I love lifting my toes and then stretching back into my calves. Bending my knees a little bit and then drawing my hips backwards. Notice what you do. When you have some space to wiggle into, what movements arise in your body? What's the sense of you right now? Super. Walk forward to the front of your mat. Slowly rolling up. Reach your arms wide. Palms come together. Palms come to rest in front of your chest. Nice. So we're going to do the other side. So reach your arms wide and then turn your hands back to front so they're crossed upon each other. And then lean to the right. Lean to the left. Cross your hands in the other direction. Lean to the right. It's really quite a beautiful day today. And then slowly drop your arms down. Have a bit of a wiggle. Just bending one knee. Creating space. How do you create space and compression? Yeah, somehow my shoulders help me do that. My breath, my feet on the floor. The more alive my feet are, the more connected my body seems to be. Great. Step the left foot back. Bring both hands to the inside of the right foot. And just move. Just listening in. Like, how would you warm up? Slow the movement down. Let yourself be really present in the movement. And so that's including the sensations that you're feeling. So I'm rolling into a sensation that's in my thigh where I'm really listening to it and I'm allowing it. And actually it's changing as I really attend to and include the sensation of my thigh. Nice. That's how do you change how you are connecting? Well, not even change. How do you connect more? Bring your head as far to the right as you can. Head to the left. And just traveling, hearing, feeling, connecting. Nice. Both knees back. Rounding your back, set your bum back. Arching, drawing forward. Make it really deeply connected. So slow the movement down. Really listening in, connecting in. Make the movement smoother. Other direction. Include the sensation of your arms, of your elbows, and adapt the movement so that you're well. Did you change direction? If you haven't, change your direction. Nice. So into a spiral, take your right hand and just dive underneath and bring your right shoulder down to the floor. And just begin that process of drawing your left shoulder back and gliding your right hand more and more and more towards the left. So it's like I'm not just collapsed down, I'm actually reaching. There's an aliveness to the sense of the moving towards the left. Where do you feel the spiral? The warp of you. Nice. Other side. Take the left hand, glide it under. And keep reaching. So I'm not then just collapsing down. I'm keeping that reaching and I'm drawing my right shoulder back and left shoulder forward. And find the aliveness in the pose, the gestures that hold us, that spiral us. Nice. Come all the way up. Push back, downward dog. Find your wiggle. And so then you're going to bend your right knee a little bit more and lean into the left side. So the left side is lengthening. I'm lengthening into the left leg. And I'm really deeply squeezing the right side more and more and more. So can I bring the right shoulder and the right hip closer together as I lengthen into the left? Nice. Other side. Squeeze the left side and lengthen into the right. And there's somehow the balance between the two sides is really needed here. The two sides have a dynamic that are utterly different. But they hold each other in the kind of the tension between the two sides. And then just travel. And you really lean into one side and find that delicate point of balance where it's like, oh, I have to really be here because if I'm not here, I'll fall over. You really lean in. One more time each side, leaning deeply in, connecting into your foot. Leaning deeply in, connecting into your foot. Nice, walk all the way forward. Slowly rolling up, reach your arms wide, palms come together. Palms come to rest in front of your chest. Nice, so come sit down onto the floor and have your feet in front of you. So they're maybe 2.5 feet apart. And then drop your knees down into zigzag. And you've just gone left. Sorry, I didn't define. And so begin by having both hands on your chest. So my left hand is on the top and right hand is lower down. And just see how you move from left to right here. Left hand is on your heart, right hand is on your belly. And notice how there's a moment where your shoulders move and then that right hip moves and you go a bit deeper. Shoulders move, right hip drops. Shoulders move, right hip lifts or moves forward. Right hip drops, shoulders come back. So lean into that right hip movement. How would you create a little bit more movement into that right hip? Let it drop, let it lift. And the more my right hip lifts or moves forward towards the left, the more I can turn my chest towards the left. Nice. Other side. Turn your knees towards the right. Bring your right hand on top, left hand to your belly, and just feel. So in the beginning, when I'm here, my left hip isn't moving at all. And then I go, oh, left hip. And then I lift the left hip and let it follow. And then I drop the left hip and come back. So it's like chest, hip, hip, chest, chest, hip. Wow, this side really doesn't understand the movement at all. I love finding places where I'm confused in movement. It's yeah, it gives me, it really maps the territory of where I can learn things. Yeah, this side just, there's going to be some learning on this side. So your left hip is moving up and forward towards the right. And that's what turns you towards the right a little bit more. And then just your hip drop down, lift up. So it's like your hip touches the floor and then you lift your hip off the floor. And that actually tilts you more towards the right. So just your hip is moving and your whole body is being moved as a result. Nice. Both feet to the floor. Last movement. Bring your left hand to the floor and drop your knees to the left. And then draw your right knee up towards your shoulder. And then swing your right foot behind you and reach your right arm long towards the left. Drawing up, squish your elbow backwards, your knee forwards, and then reach. And reach as far as you can towards the left with your right hand. So really feel the warp of you. So your hips and your torso, your hips and your shoulders are doing something to counterbalance each other. And how do you feel what you're doing? So your right shoulder is moving backwards as your knee moves forward, and then your right shoulder is moving forward as your foot moves backward. Can you feel your warp? I really like the word warp. 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 Yeah, warp. I like it. Nice. Other side. Over towards the right. Squeeze the left knee up. Left elbow comes back. And then reach your left hand towards the right and your left foot goes back. So you're spiraling. You're compensating for the leg and the arm. And how are you doing that in your body? And there's also a huge amount of activity in that left hip. Nice. Come lie on the floor. Just come land. Stretch your legs out long. Bring your hands to the floor. And that movement or that connection we did at the very beginning, can you feel that one of your hips is more forward or more backwards? Is that happening here? Is one of your shoulders more forward towards the ceiling or more backwards towards the floor? Is one of your hips more up towards your shoulder or down towards your feet? Is one of your shoulders more up towards your ears or down towards your hips? Is one hip bigger and is one hip smaller? Is one shoulder bigger? Is one shoulder smaller? And then what's your spine doing in the midst of all of this? Because you walk straight down the road. So how do you feel your spine is as it rises up through your midline, as it coordinates or manages the differences between your shoulders, the differences between your hips? And just be present to the whole of that right now. Your two legs, your two arms, your head, the fifth limb. And then just really let yourself settle and land. Like drop your shoulders, let more skin touch the floor, widen into the pelvis so that more weight settles into the floor. And just let your breath deepen into your belly. Nice. Just stay there. Stay there for another moment. Pause. Just feel we've been moving, spiraling, connecting, warping. I love that word. Oh my God, warp. Warp. I like it. Nice. Really nice start to spiral. I feel very yeah, very met by the feeling of the newness of it, or the new directions that we'll find within this. So be well. I'll see you tomorrow for Sunday Yum. We will roll a bit, I'd say, and we'll go back into zigzags again. So I'll see you tomorrow. So there's 14 days in Spiral, and I'll see you then. Okay. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I missed it actually. I missed being here. It was very nice not to be here, but I was really happy to be here again this morning. So see you tomorrow.